What up, music kids out there? I am back for another review. It is biopic that that was featured on BET, and did crazy numbers. So shout out to them. A lot of people tuned in to BET for that. And what do I have to say about the biopic? It was perfectly done. Quality was on 10. I'm happy about that because usually, BET, when y'all do biopics, I'm like, why is the quality like that? But, anyways, I enjoyed the movie. Hopefully, upcoming artists that are in the game, coming up in the game now, or they've been in the game, they watch this and learn from their mistakes. But it's not like New Edition, aka Bell Biv DeVoe. It's not like BBD. It's not like they're the only, because we have the Temptations, the Heartbeats, biopics that constantly get played in the Jackson 5 biopics that's been featured on VH1. So it's not like there has been before them. It's not like there hasn't been learning lessons to watch, because they've you hear old school from new school artists always talk about how it's good that you're talented and you have talent, but there needs to be you need to have a business mindset about this industry. And I think that goes for anything, any kind of business you're trying to do. You need to have that business mindset. You need to be educated on everything. I know, since I was old enough to start working or whatever, my mom always told us, you need to read everything that you sign. Like, don't just sign your name to everything. You need to read it. And if you don't understand it, don't put your name down. When I first moved out, I read my lease, and the landlord, she was like, "That's good that you're reading this, because we get people that move in here and they do something that goes against our rules, and they're looking at us like, but and we're like, no, that's in our lease." So basically, you just need to read everything, contracts, leases, whatever. You need to read it, point blank in the period. But yeah, as far as the movie, the biopic goes, I did not, due to working purposes. It's always about work, freaking work. I was not able to stay up and watch it, but my DVR had me. My DVR got me. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have to deal with all the commercials like some of you did. Ha ha. No, I'm joking. But I finally got to watch all three parts. In the third part, I had to watch while it was, because I got home in time to watch it as it played on TV. But yeah, I watched all three parts. Every part was good, and I was just ready to see the next one. But like I said, in casting was incredible. I think whoever was in had, I'm pretty sure New Edition had a lot to do with the cast members. Duh, you gonna be playing me, you gonna pick the right person. But did good with casting. Like I said, production was good. I love the biopic. There's learning lessons in there. There's heartache, and I know a lot of people did not know Ricky. I didn't know he was struggling with a drug addiction either. So I'm definitely glad that they decided to put that in there, because that's hard to, you go through all these years and people not know that you're dealing with a medical crisis, or you're going through something, and it's been hidden for so long, and then you finally come out and showcase it, not showcase it, but tell everybody about it. So I'm glad that he decided to put that in there, because for so long, it's always been about Bobby doing the wrong, and him dealing with drugs and just being troubled all the time. But so it's good that he put that out there. Um, and I even mentioned in a tweet that, you know, black people, the African American community, we need to start, you know, it needs to be a conversation about mental illness and drug addiction, because we go through it, we just don't deal with it. um, but I like that part about the biopic. Another thing that caught my eye, I'm like, it's sad that our stories, our childhood, how we were raised, it's the majority of the time the woman, you know. And you know, if you go back in your history and you know all that stuff, why it our structure, our home structure is the way it is, was the way it is back then up to current. It's understandable, but it's just sad that it's always been the woman, the mother, that's had to take on, you know, having her kids in like low income housing, and always that mentality of, we got to do what we got to do because I have mouths to feed. And that's something that stood out with me doing the biopic, because it was the mothers. I mean, the uncle was in it, you know, in the situation as well. But uncle is the father figure, or, you know, someone that's not really blood related in the situation, trying to take care of these men. So it's like they had mentors, men mentors, but the mothers took on, you know, not really knowing about contracts and how the marketing and business goes, because, you know, when you're in a environment where there's not, you know, the education may not be as great, or we don't teach our people business and stuff, we don't know. So but with all the mistakes and trials and tribulations that they went to, and to see where they are now, it's just like, wow, like everything is for a reason. Everything that you deal with in life is like a learning lesson. Movie, the biopic, it was incredible. But Eddie, which is featuring the legendary Doug E. Fresh, Find a Way, I'm Better, Hot Damn, Run, All That There, Don't Go, Finally, SWV, yes. Shout out to the R&B sisters, the soul sisters there. One More, Try, feature Boyz II Men, and Incredible. Of course, my songs that, my top ones that stood out for me was Find a Way, One More Try, All That There, Finally, and One More Try, of course, with their features. Because I liked how, and that's another thing people didn't know, that Michael Bevins, he, I'm not sure if they said that he was the one that put Boyz II Men on, but I think he was a part of them. He basically put word of mouth to like the big, I don't know, I'm not sure, I forgot that part, what happened with that. But I do know in the biopic it shows where, you know, they singing for him, and then it just doesn't go on from there, because it's really not about them, but just as a piece of what happened in their life. But again, with you know, our legends that come back into the game with the albums, you know, I will say this, a lot of artists that have been out of the game, some of them try so hard to get in with this generation's culture of music and what this generation thinks music is supposed to sound like, which is fine, because you either get with it or get lost. But I like how BBD, they brought this album back, Three Stripes, but it's not, it doesn't sound like they're trying to convince this generation of anything. It doesn't sound like they're still staying true to what BBD stands for. Like, they're still staying true to themselves as artists, and they put a little bit of new school into, they bring it together. So it's not sounding like, because a lot of artists do that come back, that's been gone for so long. They try too hard to make this generation buy their albums and buy into them as an artist all over again, and it doesn't work for everybody. So I'm glad with this album they didn't do that. They just stayed true to BBD. They're legends in this game. They know what they're doing. It sounds like it anyways. And I'm glad that I love how they put Dougie Fresh on here and Boyz II Men and SWV, kind of bringing back that old school 90s R&B feel back. Because I know everybody's like, music doesn't sound like this anymore. We don't got that real 90s anymore. Y'all not listening to the right people though when you say that. Because there's plenty of artists out here who they may not, it's never gonna be back to what music was back in the 90s. People just need to get that through their head. We're not gonna get that anymore. It's all been said and done. But there are artists out here who still stay true to their R&B lane. They're still soulful. Their music is of quality, like BBD's. So that's just what I like about this album. Like, there's no trying. They just did it. Like, it works. But yeah, if you haven't checked it out, I just ran down my top 5. I think it was 5. No, my top 5 songs to you. If you've listened to the song and you've been rocking with New Edition, they were your group back then when you was growing up. And just comment below, talk about the movie, the biopic, talk about this album. You can talk about previous albums. I'm here for it all. I just love to hear from my folks, from across the country and out of the country. I love hearing the feedback. So, but yeah, I love this album, and I appreciate y'all for watching. And stay tuned, because I may not be back-to-back constant videos, but when I come back, and I bring y'all my views and opinion on these albums. Again, I appreciate you for watching. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
It's a cool beat.
What up, music kids? I am back for another album review. I told y'all I was coming back. Like, I'm trying to get my videos up. There's been so much music coming out. But let's get into this Big Sean. He decided that he's gonna make an album where he basically battling his future self with his now self. But let's get into it. So there are 14 tracks. We have features from Jeremiah, Eminem, Janae. But we have Jeremiah featured on this album, Eminem, Janae Aoki, The Dream, Migos, The Flint Chosen Choir, and I pronounced her name wrong, I'm sorry. But there's 14 tracks, including that intro, Light, Bounce Back, No Favors, Jump Out the Window, Moves, Same Time Part 1 as a teaser. That shit, why y'all even, Big Sean, why'd you even put that on there? You teasing, you play too much. No, I'm joking. But oh me, halfway off the balcony, voices in my head, stick to the plan, Sunday morning jetpack, inspire, sacrifices bigger than me. So y'all know I don't, sometimes I do get the albums, the EPs, and I have to skip through them because I'm like, what is this artist doing? There's no, like, I don't see where this album, like, where's this out? What are we doing? Because I'm skipping too much. What's wrong? I'm gonna have to stop listening to your album because it don't work. This is not one of those albums. I've actually listened to this album from start to finish, beginning to end. And the songs that I play, like, over and over, like, it's stuck in my head. I'm at work and it out of nowhere I'm singing stuff. But the songs that stand out, that I play a lot, like a lot, Old Me, Halfway Off the Balcony, Voices in My Head / Stick to the Plan, Inspire Me, that's like up there in my top, Sacrifices, and Bigger Than Me, absolutely. And I know everybody like, what about No Favors with Eminem? Everybody's so hyped because we know Eminem been behind the scenes doing whatever, cooking up in the studio. We don't know what he doing. We might get an album out of him. We don't know. But everybody hyping up, No Favors. Because, he took his little shots at Miss LA. Because she did that Straight Outta Compton thing. And he beast. Okay, he beast on the track. I ain't gonna front him on that. But I'm like, it's Eminem. But I'm not hating. He still went in. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's up there in somebody's top 5 or 10. But yeah, so yeah, I want to get into Sacrifices because that is my stuff. That's like, I have to rewind like certain parts of that track. And what's crazy is, because I know some of y'all big Sean like fanatic. Don't get me wrong, when I first started, I did listen through the whole track and enjoyed every bit of it. But now that I've listened to it enough, I'll let Big Sean have his little few seconds, and then I'll go right to Migos part, and middle part right there, so I can get it popping wherever I'm at listening. I gotta get it popping because that is my part. Like, they go in, and I'm not even, I know Migos, this is like their year. They've been everything, and they've been, having, because of Donald Glover, who, put the world on, basically, with the Bad and Bougie. I really don't listen like that to them. Inspire, I definitely like the track Inspire, because whether you have a good relationship with your parents or if they're no longer here, I would like to think that the majority of people out here, you have a person that, at least one person that may have said something inspiring to you or encouraging or motivated you to continue your path on to wanting to still be successful or still live out your dreams. I would like to hope that there's one person that you can say is relatable with this track as well. Inspired, like, it doesn't have to be a parent, just somebody who's inspired you to continue to do whatever it is that you want to accomplish in life, or whatever career path you choose to become successful. So to me, that track, what I took from it, he's basically saying, with the whole album just being about him, basically going back and forth from current Big Sean to how he would see himself when he gets older. That last track basically kind of took a break from the album being about only him, and he kind of gave a PSA to whoever listened to this album that, hey, Flint, Michigan is still over here suffering. there's still not clean water that these residents can use. There's still an issue. It's been an ongoing issue. So let me take time out of my album and not make it about me for once, and put, one of the Flint, Michigan choirs on this track, and basically shine light on what's still going on, what still continues to go on. And he's donated, I'm not sure, I forgot the amount, but it was a lot that he donated back to Flint, Michigan, with that water crisis, that water issue, which is ridiculous. Like, I can't believe, but this is America, right? Yeah. So I think that's what that track is about. But other than that, I enjoyed this whole album. And subscribe and like. I appreciate it either way. And I thank you for watching. And like always, let's love a little bit more and less hate. Stop the hate, please. Like, there's too much of that going on. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching. And I'll see y'all on another album review. Peace.
It's a cool beat.